Welcome back. It's time now for Media Watch, and for that I'm joined by James Creedon. Good evening, James.
Good evening, Annette.
Newsweek has a cover story calling on Barack Obama to hit the road.
Hit the road, Barack, as opposed to hit the road, Jack. And it was the front page of Newsweek, or the cover of Newsweek magazine this week, rather controversially. And it was a piece by Neil Ferguson, who is a Harvard professor of history and a very frequent commentator for Newsweek and the Daily Beast website, which is associated with Newsweek magazine. Now, the thing is, it has been very criticised for factual errors. And let's take a look online, actually, at the wave of criticism that this article got. So that is the actual piece, Obama's Got to Go by Neil Ferguson. One of the chief critics was Paul Krugman of the New York Times, who said it was an unethical piece. He said that this goes beyond matters of ideology and economic analysis. It's simply a plain misrepresentation of the facts, and actually it merits a prompt and abject correction by Daily Beast. And look, you could go on, because there were vast numbers of other articles criticising it massively. You had this piece in The Atlantic by James Fallows, who is also a Harvard alumnus, and he said, "I apologise on behalf of the institution, the university where this guy works. You know, this is such a badly written piece." A Berkeley University professor saying his ass needs to be fired now. So look, it was across the board, massive criticism, even from Daily Beast columnist Andrew Sullivan, who said that there was just, massive and self-evident distortion. So there you go, huge criticism for that piece, and he has come back and defended himself, but perhaps to no avail.
It looks like it was a deliberate move by Newsweek to have a sort of controversial, cover. And of course, we are at the end of the summer break now, and of course, the focus is going to swing back onto the presidential election.
That's right, and increasingly magazines like Newsweek are economically challenged. They need to sell as many copies as they can. Indeed, the Daily Beast website bought up Newsweek magazine because it wasn't selling enough. So let's take a listen to what Justine Rosenthal said about this controversy. She seems quite pleased by accusations of inaccuracy in her own magazine.
Well, we have been talking to Neil over the course of many weeks about what was going to be his next big moment, as he had done with America's ship moment. And we said, what is the next big thing that you want to say about the election or about where America is right now? And the answer was that he had a lot to say about Obama.
Now, this piece is doing incredibly well. It's the top of Drudge.
It's
got 10,000 likes on Facebook in 24 hours.
Right, Justine Rosenthal, editor of the Daily Beast, saying it was a pretty good Monday because it was at the top of Drudge Report aggregating site, despite being criticised almost across the board. So I think what they're looking for really nowadays is as many hits as possible over accuracy. And just to point out as well that I suppose the issue there is they put an opinion piece, the title of an opinion piece, as the cover, which leads to a lot of confusion. Is this what Newsweek's official editorial line is? Now, she pointed out also in that interview, let's take a look at this, that this was another front page of Newsweek a couple of weeks ago, the wimp factor about Mitt Romney. So if that is an indication of Newsweek's editorial policy, it's a bit schizophrenic because it's back and forth and switching sides. They're just trying to have controversial front pages to sell.
It's the last week of summer in the US. Don't forget that. That's always
true.
Important when it comes to sales.
That's it.
Staying in the US, still lots of reaction, not surprisingly, to the US Congressman Todd Akin over his very controversial comments that a woman couldn't get pregnant from so-called legitimate rape.
That's right, and he has issued that apology, which you were looking at in the news earlier, Annette. It was a ridiculous comment. He said he misspoke in an apology on Sunday. He's now issued this 30-second video entitled Forgiveness. The website Storyful is looking at how the hashtag on Twitter, War on Women, has made a comeback. Now, this was a hashtag which grouped together comments by Democrats who were critical of Republicans, who accused Republicans of anti-women policies on abortion, contraception, healthcare, etc. And this has been given a new lease of life by this particular story. Essentially, Atkins' remarks has played into the hands of none other than Barack Obama. Let's take a look at this comment by Mr. Obama, who jumped on the issue because he's trying to hoover up those women votes, those female votes. We shouldn't have a bunch of politicians, a majority of whom are men, making healthcare decisions on behalf of women. So he reminded people online of that policy. So there you go. Perhaps the best way to respond to such a ridiculous debate sometimes is satire. And the Onion satirical website is just making a complete mockery of the story, saying pregnant woman relieved to learn her rape was illegitimate. And I suppose the content is pretty predictable there. They're poking a lot of fun at Senator Aiken.
I don't think we're going to forget Todd Aiken in a hurry somehow.
No.
Moving back here to France, and the race is on for the leader of France's centre-right UMP party, of course, which was led by Nicolas Sarkozy.
That's right.
As in, when
so
he was
they're all
president.
battling out, mainly the men, François Fillon, former Prime Minister, Jean-François Copé. Copé, who is running behind in the polls, is hoping for a debate, a televised debate, which would be a first ever for an internal party election. So that is looking unlikely to happen. Several other male contenders saying that they've got X number of thousand signatures, which has got Nathalie Kosciusko-Morizet a little bit annoyed. She is the only female candidate, and she has said, look, I'm not going to get into a competition as to who can pee the farthest. That was her official reaction to all of these men saying, I got 10,000 signatures, I got 3,000 signatures. She's just not going to get involved. It's boys, comparing who can pee the farthest.
It's a boys' club. That's the sad reality. I'm afraid it's all over the world, not just in France.
Not just in France.
And finally, cartoon character SpongeBob is coming in for some criticism in Ukraine. He's being criticised, or attacked rather, of being gay.
Yep. Apparently he's corrupting the youth of the country. This according to Ukraine's National Commission for the Protection of Public Morality. So SpongeBob, as well as the Teletubbies, the advice of this commission is that they should be taken off the air. Why? SpongeBob apparently hangs out a little bit too often. Where is he? With his star-shaped friend. I think he's Patrick the Starfish, and I think they seem to be a little bit too close for comfort for this commission in the Ukraine. So people, also one of the Teletubbies, I think Tinky Winky, who goes around a lot with a handbag, has also upset them, and apparently there's just too much ambiguity and it should be taken off the airwaves. So there you go.
James, haven't people got better things to do?
Well, not on this commission, it seems.
Well, obviously, and they give you wonderful material to work
right.
with. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
That's
Annette.
James Creedon with Media Watch. And time now for Web News, a look at what's making headlines in cyberspace. And today we're looking at protests against healthcare cuts in Spain and a reality TV show that's causing rather lively debate in the United States.